Hi, this is James from Warrior Martial Arts Supply. We're here today with two new design modifications, basically add-ons for both our PVC Wing Chun dummy as well as our wooden Wing Chun dummy. Okay, as you can see on both of these dummies, PVC is in red, wooden dummy is in black. They both have our 18-inch long spring arm located on the center line. That's directly in line with the middle arm. Both of these units have the ability to accept this arm if you choose. We can also obviously make without that long 18-inch arm, but this is a new option we're offering. We used to offer it just on the PVC dummies for our dual-sided dummy, which had everything in the front and back. We now have relocated everything to the front, so you don't have to turn the dummy around. I'm going to go over in more detail each one of these products. Also going to go over the ability to add the spring arms to the traditional wooden arm positions. Padded spring arms are here. Those are going to be inserted where the wooden arms go, and I'm going to explain to you why we have the 18-inch center line arm. And also, these dummies are going to give you the ability to make three types of dummies out of it with the configurations you can make with the wooden arms, the traditional spring arms, and the long 18-inch centerline arm. Okay, the first setup you can use on this multifunctional dummy is your traditional three wooden arm layout in the traditional setup. Again, these are the level arms. These can also be set for offset. You have your standard wooden leg. This is on the PVC dummy on the vector stand, which is modeled after our wooden dummy's modern freestand, which we're going to show you in a minute. Okay, the second configuration is our padded spring arms. Again, these are made to insert in our PVC dummies as well as our wooden dummies. Same principle, locking pin in the back holds them in place. So this is the second configuration. This is going to consist of three spring arms in the traditional wooden dummy arm position. Okay, the last setup you can do configuration-wise is the long 18-inch centerline padded spring arm. If you notice, this is in line with the middle arm. When I go over to the wooden dummy, I'm going to explain the purpose of this and some different ways you can use these different configurations for your training. Okay, what I've come up with on training on the wooden dummy for many years is that there are two basic classifications of blocks, not only in Wing Chun, but in most systems, whether they identify it as yin or yang. They do exist. Basically, for those who don't know, yang blocks are the blocks which put energy back into the attacker's attack. Yin blocks are the type of blocks that are more yielding and redirecting. So an example of, say, yin block would be basically like Tan Sao. Any of the blocks which finish at your gates, where these upper arms on the traditional dummy fall out at these angles, are your yin blocks. The issue that I have with structure in some of these techniques done on this type of a layout is that you sometimes put yourself in improper structure or bad positioning for your yang blocks, because again, these are designed for yin. So for example, Tan Sao or Tan Da, you're going to finish your Tan Sao here where these arms are angled, and that's correct. Same as Wu Sao. Wu Sao finishes at your outer gate. That's correct. Another example, let's just say Nui Jut Sao. Nui Jut similar to Tan, same difference. All falls out in the yin position, and that's where these arms take you. Now the issue that you're going to have that I found with just a couple basic blocks, talking about yang blocks now. A yang block, for example, Pak Sao. If you're going to do a Pak Sao on these traditional arm angles, most people I see they Pak the arm here. Now technically, in relation to center line, where this middle arm is, if you can see this alignment, I'm too far past center line with my Pak Sao. When we do Pak Sao on one of these types of dummies, we deliberately Pak closer to the dummy, so it's more true to being yang by nature, which is directly into the center line, not finishing at the gate. Second example would be Jam Sao. Jam Sao is another block which is supposed to finish on center line or slightly past center line. When you Jam Sao one of these upper arms, for instance, if I Jam Sao the inner arm here, technically again, I'm too far past center line. If I Jam Sao out here, I'm not enough into center line. So again, it's because these arms are meant to fall out in the finished position of your yin blocks, which is why next I'm going to show you the 18-inch long padded spring arm, which is going to go in this pocket here, and it's going to be designed for both yin and yang, and I'll show you that in just a second. Okay, now we have inserted into the wooden dummy the 18-inch center line arm. We removed the two angled traditional wooden arms, and we're going to show you two things. First, why we came up with this idea, and second, how it works and puts you in a better structure for your yang blocks, and will also work perfectly fine for the yin blocks. First reason why we came up with the long arm is for the simple fact that the length of the traditional dummy arms, 12 inches, is too close for certain blocks. So you have to adapt. When you do a tanda or a tansao, when you're on the shorter upper arm, say this is the upper arm, when you're doing a tansao, you're technically distance-wise from the dummy, you're about elbow's length. You're really not truly near the wrist. Now this is going to more mimic closely the full length or full extension of a strike coming at you. Now if you notice, 18 inches, if I stand next to this dummy and I extend my arm, basically 18 inches from my wrist to my shoulder in relation to the padded arm to the dummy is the same, minus the fist. Now that's pretty much the first reason why we designed this. The second reason is for bridging. Bridging is now you can bridge at a more proper distance. With the 12-inch arms, when you're bridging, you're already on top of the dummy. You're a little bit too close that you really want to be. And this is going to give you more realistic distance. So for example, if I'm going to bridge with say bong sao, here I can make my bong sao and I can finish with a lock fun, trap chan gen, and I can do this while advancing forward slightly. When you have a traditional 12-inch arm and you're in that position, you're a little bit cramped. So it doesn't allow for proper bridging, proper distance while bridging. Second, there's another reason that you can also look at is for kicking. When we do kicking drills or any type of combination block, punch, kick, for example, if you're going to do tanda, jin, gyuk, here I'm able to bridge and make contact with the kick as well as the punch and the tansao and be fully extended. For the yin blocks, as you can see, when I do a tansao, a tanda, I am finishing this arm in the position that the traditional wooden dummy arms are set in. So, in essence, by having this long 18-inch center arm, not only can you do your yang blocks and your yin blocks, you really have the ability to do 3 different positions, because you have the strike on center line, which is mostly what we deal with in Wing Chun, and then you're able to take it to the outside. So with a yang block, and I do a pak sao, I'm going to redirect this and angulate it off of me simply by pocking in the center line where I should. I have forward energy with my pak sao, and I'm redirecting his arm. Now tan sao is a yin block. Tan sao, again, which is ideal for the traditional wooden arms, this will finish in the same position. So here I can do tanda and finish the same way. So it accommodates yin and yang in better structure as far as using the 2 arms where it only caters more to yin blocks. Another example, like I showed on the wooden dummy arms, jam sao. Jam sao you'd normally finish in the wooden dummy arm here, which is too far past center line. On this, I can jam right into the center, and I'm going to take the arm off simply by going into center line. The angulation takes the strike off. As you can see, this is in the finished position of the dummy arm. And it allows me to take it there. So I don't have to imagine the strike there. I can physically take the strike and remove it and have some tension, which is also good. Okay, now for the third configuration. The third configuration in way you can set your dummy up with these spring arms is 3 spring arms in the traditional dummy positions. Okay, now what this will allow you to do is a few things. First thing that I like is that you can practice your chi sao roll with it, and you can work on a few of your attacks from the roll. Again, it's not meant to replace chi sao with a partner. You obviously need energy. But my philosophy is when you train on a wooden dummy, you're mimicking what you would do in the fight, you're mimicking what you do in the drills, so why should chi sao be any different? Without the energy, you're going to just mimic the motions, you're going to work your hand positions, and you're going to work your angles, pretty much as what Wing Chun is designed to do. So you can practice your roll. Okay, a little bit about the lower arm. Now on the lower arm, on the traditional wooden dummy arms, the one problem that I found with not proper structure or developing incorrect positioning is the gansao. On the center line that doesn't move, when you do a ganda here, you have to stop in this position. As you can see, I'm still getting hit with this lower limb. I'm not able to clear the line. So when you do gansao on a wooden arm, you cannot complete the gansao. By having the padded spring arm, that solves that problem. Now if you do a ganda, you can remove it off the line. There's no weight on the stand, so we have a little bit extra movement than we need. But you can get the idea. Same as if you do your kwansau's, or inside or outside rolling hands. You can now move that lower limb. So now it allows you to clear the line the way you should in actual training. Okay, once again, James from Warrior Martial Arts Supply. I hope you enjoyed our video and our new product improvements that we've been making on both our wooden as well as PVC Wing Chun dummies. If you have any questions or want to see more products or more designs that we have, you can visit our website at www.warriormartialartsupply.com or www.wingchundummies.com, spelled with a Y. Our contact number is 570-977-9598. Thank you.